think that they are deliberately taking away masculinity from men? Or do you think that there's a role that men themselves play and they're just willingly giving it up?
Well, we have personal accountability in all things. But I think it's a long and deliberate psyop. And most people don't realize that psyops are built on a very long time scale. People imagine psyop as you watch a 30-minute movie and then your brain's been changed and you've been brainwashed. That's not how psyops work. Brainwashing works over the passage of time, and it works with the slow and gradual normalization of ideas. I'll give you an example. You just talked about how 60 years ago, if you told somebody that a man could be a woman could be a man, that would be insane. Now we will sit here and still say it's insane, but there's a large subsect of the population who would sit here and argue with us. Our grandchildren will not think it's insane at all. They'll think it's perfectly normal.
Yeah.
And as much as we try our best to fight against it, and as much as we try our best to resist the tide of darkness, it's going to come and they are going to win. Yeah. So when they put these psyops in order, they think generationally. As you said earlier, because I like to reference back, you talked about these families that have been controlled for a very long time. Well, they're thinking about the world their grandchildren are going to inherit. And if they want to purport an idea which is negative for the society because it benefits them, they're going to think, I may not see the benefits of it, but Rothschild number 89, he will. So we'll just put the psyop over a long enough period of time. That's what they do. And you're saying men are giving it up. Yeah, slowly and gradually we are giving it up. All of us do it. Even me, who is very conscious of these things, catches myself do it. I'll give you a perfect example. COVID was the great example. They took 100% of your rights away. Then they gave 80% of them back. Oh, you can go out now. Just wear a mask sometimes, but you can go out and you're free again. Well, wait, a year ago I was 100% free. Now I'm 80% free. But most people feel free because they were constrained. So they take everything, they give you most of it back, and they keep that little bit. They take everything and they give you most of it back and they keep that little bit. Before you know it, you're fucking begging for a robot to give you a hand job as she's one
this
foot out
damn
the door.
robot.
Yeah, bro. But that's where it's going to come. Because also the innate masculine desire to reproduce is also very important, right? Men want to have children. And it's hard for a man to find a wife. It's hard for a man to find a woman to have his kids. A woman can find somebody to get her pregnant any day of the week. But for a man to do that, it's actually difficult. In days of old, you had to be an important man or a man of stature or a man of honor. Why did men join the army? Because they got to come home with that medal so they could get a wife. They'd go risk their lives for this. You had to be a man who did the right things, a man who was strong, a man who was capable, a man who was competent, et cetera, et cetera. Now we have a huge subsect of the population of men who can't get partners, and they've been outsourced to pornography and insanity and OnlyFans and prostitution and all this other garbage, which is one conversation. That's going to be replaced by AI and robots coming soon as well, which subdues the men. If the men don't have to become strong to find a mate, then they're not going to become strong, which once again makes it easier for the population to be controlled. If you had a population where all the men had to be honorable, virtuous men of capability for them to be able to reproduce, you would have an honorable, virtuous, capable society. But if you say to men, you can be a lazy idiot, this robot's can give you a hand job, or you can watch porn, or OnlyFans or whatever it is, and you can just sit at home and you'll be semi-satisfied and you don't even have to work. You can get food stamps, or you can work a bullshit minimum wage job and we'll take most of it in taxes, but you'll barely survive and scrape some living off at the bottom. And then when their life is miserable and they feel depressed, you can convince them it's someone else's fault, because that's what they do. They come along to these people and say, yeah, your life's shit. It's not because you didn't try. It's because of the white people, the black people, the yellow people, the Republicans, the Democrats, whoever, and make them hate-filled. Now you have a whole bunch of hate-filled, useless humans who do nothing to benefit society as a whole, subdued with garbage, and they are basically agents of the Matrix because their mind can be programmed to hate anyone they're told to hate. And that changes in time, as we've learned. If Trump's in power, there's a big racial divide. If he's not in power, the riots stop. And they just change it around. Who do we need the agents of the Matrix to hate this week? And they just, boom, turn them all on because they're sitting there with nothing else in their life and no honor and no dignity. And they're used to continue the degradation of society. It's insane.
There's something that we talk about a lot, which is normalization of some of the things that happen around us, right? So, for example, why do they allow so much crime in the cities?
Yep.
There's crime everywhere. They can stop it if they really wanted to. All they would have to do is just start arresting people and say enough is enough, and crime would essentially not go away, but be manageable.
Yep.
Right now, they let it run rampant in most U.S. American cities. Why is that? And I think it's because they want people that live in the cities to be like, all right, there's so much crime and we don't feel safe. Please, government, can you give us more control? 100%. Please, government, can you surveil us more? Please, government, can you put cameras here? And can you do facial recognition? And can you do digital IDs? Because if they force it on you, people will push back.
Of course.
If you create a situation where you ask for it, they're like, oh, we're here to help.
Well, absolutely. And that's the only thing that people will give up freedom for is safety.
Yeah.
That's the human mind will only accept a loss in freedom for safety. So you're completely right. They could stop it and they decide not to. And they're also normalizing it.
Yeah.
I speak to people. I spoke to someone who lives in Chicago yesterday. And I was saying, why do you live in Chicago on purpose? Like, you have money and you're there on purpose. Like, you're waking up in Chicago on, like, leave. Like, what's wrong? He goes, it's not that bad. It's really not that bad if you avoid this part, that part, that part. And it's not that bad if you don't go out at night. And then I'm like, I live in Bucharest, Romania, the capital of one of the poorest countries in Europe. And I can walk around at night and I drive a $5 million Bugatti and I have a $500,000 watch and I have no problems here. You've been so normalized to crime that you say it's not that bad if you only see crime once a week and avoid most of the city. It's crazy how quickly people become normalized to these things. And you're right. Eventually, it's going to get to a crisis point, a tipping point. Like I said earlier, when the matrix finally cracks, they're going to come along with a new solution. The new solution is going to be draconian control because it's all governments have ever done. It's all they know how to do. And unless we get enough people understanding the truth and the light, unless we get enough people understanding the reality of the chessboard, we're in trouble. Because when they come along and say, we're going to have a new judicial system with AI and this, we need people to sit and say, wait, the old judicial system was corrupt. How do we ensure the new one isn't? But if people are sitting there going, oh, the justice system's good, and now we have this new super justice system. No, you have a super corrupt system and you're screwed. And you're completely right. They're normalizing these things because they're trying to remove the freedom of people and replace it with safety, because all governments have ever wanted since the dawn of human time is control of their populace. Yeah. It's what allows them to be most effective. I'm not going to even be mad at the government. If you're an ant, let's look at it from a business perspective. You have a business, I have a business, right? If I have a business, I have 110 people who work for me. If one of them didn't listen to me, I'd fire him.
Yeah.
Why would I keep him? My business is not effective if I have somebody inside of my company who has wrong think, right? They think wrong. I believe certain ideas. This is my company. And we have this one person here who disagrees with everything I say. That's annoying. I want him to go. That's fair and everybody would agree with me. Well, now you have to understand why the government hates us. The government wants everyone to comply and obey and do as it says and as it wants so it can run the government how it sees fit. I disagree with that. I am the bad employee.
Yeah.
I am the person who is annoying to them, especially someone like us, because we have a voice. Not only are we bad employees, we inspire other employees to be bad. Now everyone's listening to us going, wait, he has a point. I don't like this company anymore. I don't like how it runs. That's unfair. That's unjust. Then they want to fire us. But you can't fire us. So you have to put us in jail or teach us a lesson or sue us or take our money or slander us with the media machine. They have to punish us somehow. It's as simple as that, because a government is sitting there as a business, which is how it should be run. They're corrupt to the core, but a government sitting there saying, how do we run our government as effectively as possible? Well, we want robots. We don't want humans with too much individual liberty and too much individual ideas and too much freedom. No, we want robots who comply so we can be effective. And that's why they're going to come along, and any new system they build is going to have that in mind. They want draconian control over all of us. And if you don't understand that, then you're an idiot. They make new laws every day. I've never seen them take one away.
Yeah.
What do we say about them slowly incrementing and damaging your freedom? They make a new law every day. That's law, let alone regulations. When's the last time you've checked IRS regulations? They change daily. You don't even know if you're in trouble or not.
Never.
You're in trouble if they want you to be. Everyone at home is in trouble if they want you to be. You can't even keep up with how fast this garbage changes. So they're constantly stealing your freedom from you little by little, incrementally, because they're trying to make robots of us all. And it's scary.
I've heard that in the United States, at any given day, a regular person will break 20 federal laws.
Yep.
Without even thinking about it.
100%.
It's crazy because there's no way to know.
Exactly. And then you understand that your ability to speak freely is directly correlated with your insignificance. Because if you get too loud as the bad employee, and because living a normal life means you break laws, they come along and they screw you. That's what they do. They come along and go, let's get him. And everyone's guilty. That's what's so amazing to me. The people with the slave mind at home watch this, or people who say, Andrew's a human trafficker, or he did this, or he did that. Don't you understand that you're just insignificant and stupid? Because if you had a voice that was large, that people listened to, that was saying things different than what the government want you to say, you would be guilty of something. Everyone's guilty. And especially most of these laws are so insane and subjective. I don't want to go into my case because I'm bored of talking about it. But my case is that human trafficking is forcing somebody to do something for financial gain. I was supposedly doing it via the Loverboy method by being nice. So I nicely helped girls get big on TikTok because they asked for my advice and I told them what times to post. I didn't even make any money from it. The girls made money and they called that human trafficking. Do you have any idea what stretch of the imagination that is? But all the law is subjective. They can just subjectively go, maybe. And then they don't care if I get found innocent. They don't give a shit. They've dragged my name through the mud. 2 years, I went to jail, took all my money. Now I have to go to court, endless millions on legal bills. They don't care. Damages my influence. Why did this case even pop up in the first place? Because someone called Romanian government and said, who's this guy talking so much in your country? Who is he? Look at him. Find something. And they're like, well, he's pretty innocent. TikTok. Go.
Got him.
Got him. And that's in Romania. It's worse in America. Like you said, 20 federal laws.
Yeah.
They got Roger Ver, the Bitcoin guy. I don't even know about this. He was big on Bitcoin. He was annoying them. They got him, they raided his house or something to do with Bitcoin, ended up busting him, ATF, for moving fireworks across state lines because he bought fireworks for his kids in another state. He did 4 years in jail or something ridiculous. If they want to get you, they're going to get you. So you're living under this system, the judicial system, fair justice for all. But as soon as you annoy anyone and they say your name to a prosecutor, you're going to jail. And now they're going to make a new justice system for your safety. Don't worry, we're going to take our freedom away for your safety. And we're going to involve digital IDs and face ID and all these things like we talked about. But you'll be fine as long as you do exactly as we say.
We're from the government and we're here to help.
And that's where the slavery comes.
Yeah.
As long as you do exactly as we say. Because if you're a bad employee, you'll pay the price.